He's an environmentalist and the co-founder of Extinction Rebellion India. Good to talk to you. First of all, what can we do about this?
Thanks for having me here. And it's a very important question that what can we do to stop this plastic waste, which we see in these ASEAN countries or also in some other developing countries. So first we need to ask why this is happening. So the reason is that these ASEAN nations are developing nations. The labor market is quite cheap. So it's very easy to produce these plastics and export to the entire world. So, and also the single-use plastic is only increasing. Actually, it's not decreasing. So, and then these developing countries, these ASEAN nations, become a hub to produce these cheap waste. But the question is that for whom they produce? And the answer lies that the rich nations, mostly from Europe, from North America, they are the ones who set up the cheap plastic factories in these countries. So first they manufacture there and they import it in their countries. Then another reason is that after using this plastic in these European nations, they dump it back to these ASEAN countries. And then we see all the ocean are filled with these plastic waste and we see it everywhere. So unfortunately, the way our economy works, it's totally based on making the maximum profit on the cost of destroying the Mother Earth, this planet. And that's the root cause that we see that there is not much hope to stop this. Having said that, of course, we can also stop if the international bodies, whether it's a World Bank or IMF, they put heavy penalties on the root causes, the root sources of this plastic waste, whether these are rich nations or the big corporations who are doing this. At the same time, the developing countries also, they must stop, importing these plastic waste. They must stop, producing and manufacturing these dirt cheap single-use plastics or different kinds of plastic, because they should realize that the environment and their ocean, their land, their citizens' health is much, much important than just making some short-term profit.
Yeah, so you've outlined what needs to happen. Obviously, making it happen, though, is much more different. How effective do you think days like Earth Day are in communicating that message, especially given that there's a huge climate change message that I think a lot of people are alert to? Trying to tell them about plastics as well at the same time, people are kind of thinking, well, I'm dealing with the climate right now.
Yeah, so I think these days are very important because it just refreshes us, it pushes us, it makes us to reflect and think what we are doing when it comes to saving the planet, what we are doing in terms of the commitments we made, whether at Paris Climate Treaty or at any UN forum, at what we are doing by the data shared by the IPCC. So these days are very, very important to remind ourselves at individual level, also to put pressure on the government, to put pressure on the corporations, on the lobby groups, that they must take strong actions to stop this damage which we see on this planet.
Chittranjan Dubey joining us from Berlin. Thank you so much, environmentalist and co-founder of Extinction Rebellion India.